One of the most remarkable films of the past decade, in my view, is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Is it true that you committed to it before reading the script?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, look, a lot of actors here, right, in this room?
Oh, yeah. Good ones.
Coen brothers come up to you and they say, hey, we'd like you to be in a movie. Before you see the script, the answer is yes, right? That's what it was. I was like, yep, I'm in. And then they said, would you like to read the script? I go, okay. And then I read it and I couldn't believe my luck.
It is a movie with so many layers to it.
Yeah.
It's a huge club sandwich of a movie. At any moment, you can enjoy any one of those layers. What's the movie based on?
Homer's Odyssey.
And how familiar were you with the Odyssey before the project came to you?
Well, I knew the Cyclops, I knew the Sirens, I knew a little bit. In Kentucky, it's not, you know, must read. But, you know, it's a funny thing. My Uncle Jack, who lives in Perryville, Kentucky, Joel and Ethan said, you know, we want him to be a hick. And I was like, okay. So I sent a tape recorder and the script to my Uncle Jack in Kentucky, who talks, you know, like a sheriff. And I said, just read all of my lines in the tape recorder.
Did you?
Yeah. And so I get the tape recorder back, and it's like, George, well, I read your script here, and I don't think folks around here talk quite like this here, but we'll give her a go. And I'm like, ah. So every time I listen to that before I do the scenes. And every scene in it, you know, there's scenes where he's supposed to say, like, you know, what the hell's wrong with you, or, you know, you damn fool. And I'm like, where the heck are you, and you darn fool. And Joel and Ethan, like, three-quarters of the way through the movie, are like, you say every single line as written, except hell and damn. And why? And I'm listening to thinking, my Uncle Jack rewrote it. He didn't want to say, hell or damn.
One of the many unusual elements of the film is its title.
Yeah.
Do you recall the Coen source for it?
Yeah, from Sullivan's Travels, which is one of my favorite films.
And there are many quotes from Sullivan's Travels in the movie.
Even the theater scene when all the prisoners come. Yeah.
Yeah. Often both of the Coens direct.
Yes.
How did it work this time, with one of them writing and the other directing?
Joel does most of the directing. Ethan just kind of stands there, and the both of them like go, yeah.
Through much of the film, you were one of a trio.
Yes.
Tell us about working with John Turturro and Tim Blake Nelson.
It was fun. You know, we sort of knew right off the bat that we were idiots. But there was a funny thing, because the three of us, the very first day of working, Joel came over and goes, just remember, fellas, you know, and he just looked over me, he goes, George, you're the smartest guy in the room. And it never occurred to me that it was the smartest,
right.
So, because we were playing him as idiots, of course, because that's what you do.
But you were the smartest idiot.
And when you realize you're the smartest guy in the room, it's a very different way of playing it, and it changed sort of everything for us.
Who was responsible for the film's music?
T-Bone Burnett.
Did he work on the musical numbers with you and the Soggy Bottom Boys?
Yeah, well, here's the worst part of it. Now, T-Bone is a big musical genius, worked with Bob Dylan, all these guys, and they just assumed because my aunt was Rosemary Clooney that I could sing. And I kind of assumed that I could sing. And we got into the recording studio to sing Man of Constant Sorrow, which is a tough song to sing. And I've really worked on it, and I'm singing, and I'm just singing as hard as I can, you know. And I finish, and I look up, and you know, you got that glass booth, and there's T-Bone and the Coen brothers, and no one's looking up, they're just kind of like this. Like, and I'm like, so already you're just like, your gut just drops out, and I walk into the room, and I go, eh? And they're like, no, it's good, it's good. And they go, well, let's play it, like hoping that I will hear it and go, oh, this is terrible. And I can tell already that it's going badly, and then he hits the button, and it's terrible. Yeah, I mean, it's just terrible. And then I'm not going to let him off the hook that easy, so I'm like, I think it's great. And you can just see their gut drop out, like, oh. And then I said, you know, forget it, bring your guy. And then they brought in a guy named Dan Tominski to sing for me, and he did a great job.
And you lip-synced it.
Yeah, yeah.
But you danced nicely.
I'm a very good dancer, as you can tell. No, you know, they brought a choreographer in, and he said, you know, George, I'm working on this dance, and I'm like, you know, I kind of got this idea, and then I just did this. I don't even know what I was doing. I was in overalls, and I just started doing a. you know, a goose dance. And Joel and Ethan thought it was funny, so they kept it in.
I like the dance a lot. It's a very nice dance. The language of the characters, particularly Everett, is florid, high-flown, and riddled with polysyllabic words. Everett immodestly admits that he's endowed with the gift of gab.
Yeah. Do you know, it was an interesting thing. It's very similar to doing Shakespeare because you can't ad-lib it.
That's right.
You know, there's no way to bail out. You actually have to learn it, you know, almost phonetically. You have to learn it by bit by bit, you know, tiny bits at a time.
Here for your pleasure and mine is Homer's Odysseus and the Coen brothers and George Clooney's Ulysses Everett the Gill. I have a number of questions about a fascinating movie called The Ides of March. Your name appears frequently in the credits, principally as a co-writer, a director, and one of the film's stars. How was this project born?
I had a company at Warner Brothers at the time, and Warner Brothers brought the play. It had not yet been produced to us. And
that was Farragut North.
That was Farragut North. And Grant and I, at the time, were working on a sort of a morality film about, this is 2007, about Wall Street, believe it or not. Who would have thought? And then when we read this play, we thought, well, we could sort of mesh the two.
Once again, you seem to have your finger on the national pulse.
Boy.
Right on it. The movie's resemblance to the present moment is startling.
This is about how you get elected and what kind of deals you have to make. My father ran for Congress. He didn't enjoy it. And so this was in many ways things that I'd learned from his experience, the hands that you have to shake that you really need Purell on afterwards.
Right. Here at the Actors Studio Drama School of Pace University, we train actors, writers, and directors side by side for 3 years. So for our students, I'd like to deal with the 3 disciplines. We can with you. Who is credited with writing the film?
Bo Williman, Grant Heslov, and myself.
How did you work with your collaborators?
Bo had all the backroom stuff written, and I wanted to write some of the political speeches and sort of create this sort of liberal dream of a candidate that we were going to destroy along the way. Grant and I have a partner's desk, and we work together, sitting across the desk from one another.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I handwrite everything. And the first scene I wrote was the kitchen scene, where Ryan and I sort of face off, and then we work backwards.
Do you improvise the dialogue across the desk?
Sometimes. Mm-hmm. And, you know, put Post-its up on the walls, and, you know, the old-fashioned way.
It's no secret that in the normal film process, the screenplay isn't exactly holy writ.